Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we are going to be covering meiosis as part of the AP Bio curriculum. This is in the larger unit of heredity, so let's get started. Asexual versus sexual reproduction. Asexual reproduction, that is done through mitosis, and it produces exact copies of whatever is being copied. That's because we know that there's no other influence for genetic variation. It's just the exact product that is being copied. This occurs in single-celled eukaryotes, but also simple multicellular eukaryotes. And then sexual reproduction, that occurs in complex multicellular organisms like us. There's variation in the offspring because there is two mating partners, and reproductive cells are produced by meiosis. Let's talk about the key differences. So the purpose of mitosis is growth, maintenance, and repair. Think about a zygote, that fertilized egg, how the baby's going to grow. That's going to grow through mitosis. How is that egg produced? Well, that was through the two gametes, which are produced through meiosis. So the gametes that are produced in meiosis fertilize, and it's basically just one big entire cycle. After that fertilization, like I said, it grows through mitosis, and that big cycle just keeps on occurring. What cells does mitosis occur in? The body cells. How many divisions for mitosis? Is just one division, but the two daughter cells are exactly the same. So the genetic profile, identical DNA. In meiosis, the purpose, of course, is gamete production, like I just said, the two sex cells. Where does it occur? So this occurs in specialized cells located in the sex organs of the male and the female. The number of divisions, though, in meiosis, there's two divisions. So the first division creates two cells, and those two cells then divide one more time, giving four gametes that are genetically unique, so they are not identical. Meiosis produces gametes, otherwise known as reproductive cells. Two cell divisions in meiosis, like I just said, and essentially what's happening is the diploid is going to a haploid, so the chromosome number is being reduced by half. The cells that are produced are different from each other, like I just said, and what this diagram is showing is essentially the diploid cells. After meiosis, we know we get the gametes, which are haploid, and then through fertilization, you get the zygote, and the zygote then, which is diploid, it grows through mitosis, maintenance, repair, etc. What does haploid 1N imply? So gametes contain half a set of chromosomes. So if haploid is 1N, then we know the diploid would be 2N. And this is just a karyotype showing the 23 chromosomes. So we talked about how meiosis has two different divisions. So meiosis 1, I always remembered it as PMAT, prophase, metaphase, anaphase, telophase. Metaphase, the chromosomes line up in the middle. Anaphase, they are pulled apart. And telophase, the cell splits. Of course, there's interphase in the beginning where growth happens, all that stuff happens. G1, G2, G0, stuff like that. Meiosis 2, PMAT once again, except you already have those two cells that split here. Cytokinesis also occurs there and here, but then it just goes through the entire process one more time, and instead of the chromosomes being pulled apart this time, the chromatids are being pulled apart this time, and in the end it gives us 4 genetically unique daughter cells. So what is fertilization? The fusing together of haploid gametes from opposite sexes resulting in a diploid zygote. So it's really pretty logical. If the gametes that are produced from meiosis, these are haploid, then during fertilization, if two of those haploid cells are coming together, it's just going to be diploid again. So you can think of it as addition, multiplication, like there's really different ways to get the logic in it. What is produced in fertilization? So a diploid 2N zygote, like I just said, new organism that starts as a single cell. And here's kind of that cycle we were talking about, explained right there. So diploid then 2N implies that zygotes contain a full set of chromosomes, 2 for each, for diploid organisms. So then there's the maternal and the paternal set of chromosomes. Sister chromatids of one duplicated chromosome are shown here. 2 non-sister chromatids in a homologous pair. Pair of homologous chromosomes would be these 2 pairs just together. And that's the centromere, the middle of that pair. That's referred to as the centromere. What are homologous chromosomes? So homologous chromosomes are pairs of chromosomes that contain the same genes. So homologous, we think identical, they have the same genes. One is paternal and one is maternal. So you can just see that here. When they replicate, you got a homologous pair of chromosomes. Sister chromatids, each, like, half of the pair is referred to as a chromatid. And that would be of paternal, and this would be of maternal. How do multicellular organisms grow after fertilization? So, like I just said before, cells divide by mitosis and cytokinesis many times. So mitosis is what grows the fetus. How do multicellular organisms develop after fertilization? Cells differentiate and become specialized types with specific functions due to differential gene function. So, of course, you have mitosis creating all those different cells, but they also need to assume their own roles, and that happens after. Of course, there's so many different types of cells, specialized cells, and they each have specific functions. So gene expression tells those cells what their job is. And here's just another diagram here. Different types of cells and their jobs, liver cell, a neuron, kind of the details of that. Let's talk about interphase. Like I said, growth, DNA is replicated, cell prepares for division, interphase only happens once.